We like to think grief is ours alone, that the weight of losing someone, the silence after they're gone, the way you keep reaching for them before remembering they're not there anymore, is something only humans carry. We built religions around death. We write poetry about it. We hold funerals, light candles, visit graves years, sometimes decades after someone is gone. We carve names into stone so the world remembers they existed. We assume that this depth of feeling, this understanding that death is permanent, that someone who was here is now gone forever. We assumed this was the thing that made us different from every other creature on this planet, but science has been quietly, persistently, undeniably dismantling that belief for decades. Because out there, in elephant herds crossing the African savanna at dusk, in dolphin pods moving silently through the open ocean, in chimpanzee families deep in the Congo jungle, in crow communities perched on city telephone wires, animals are doing something that looks unmistakably like grief. They are not just reacting to absence. They are not just confused by a missing smell or a missing sound. They are mourning. They are processing. Some of them are performing rituals around their dead that we still do not fully understand. And the more scientists look, the more cameras they place, the more field notes they take, the more brain scans they run, the harder it becomes to argue that what these animals feel is anything less than real loss. Today we are going to meet those animals. We are going to sit with their stories. And by the end, I promise you, the way you look at the animal world will never be quite the same. Before we meet the animals, we need to understand why this was ever controversial at all. For much of modern science, animal grief was dismissed as anthropomorphism, projecting our emotions onto creatures assumed to react mechanically, with no inner experience. A dog at a grave? Just scent. A dolphin carrying a dead calf? A hardwired instinct not yet corrected. A crow standing by a dead crow? A threat assessment. These were the arguments, and they held for a long time. Then researchers started measuring behavior and the biology beneath it. They found shared neurochemical architecture for attachment and loss across species. Oxytocin for bonding appears in mammals and many birds. Cortisol spikes after a companion's death. The same grief-related circuits have functional equivalents in elephants, dolphins, and primates. Grief is what happens when an attached brain loses its attachment. We did not create it, we inherited it. Now let's see who we share it with. Elephants, the grievers who never forget. When an elephant dies, the herd gathers. They stand around the body in silence. Trunks reach to the face, the tusks the feet. Slow, careful, tender. It goes further. Elephants return to the bones of their dead, sometimes years later. They stop at a skeleton, pick up the bones, examine them, pass them between each other, showing particular interest in skulls and tusks. In documented cases, they return to the remains of a specific elephant, their own family member, while ignoring other bones nearby. They know whose bones those are. In Kenya, a matriarch named Eleanor collapsed. Grace, from an unrelated family, rushed to her side and tried to lift her with her tusks. After Eleanor died, 5 different families visited her body over days. Grace returned repeatedly, standing a vigil. Calves who lose mothers often stop eating, withdraw, and struggle for months. In sanctuaries, keepers report nightmares, calves crying out in their sleep, trembling awake. As researcher Joyce Poole argues, there is no framework that explains all of this without acknowledging grief, real, specific, individual grief. Chimpanzees, the ones who sit in the dark. In 2009, Pansy died in Scotland. Before she passed, her group groomed her and kept vigil. Rosie, her daughter, stayed closest. After death, Rosie did not leave. She stayed through the night. Others checked for breath, touched her face. One male kept shaking her arm, unable to accept the stillness. When keepers removed the body at dawn, they watched in silence. For days they avoided the spot, subdued, appetite down. In the wild, mothers carried dead infants for weeks. Flint, after Flo died, stopped eating and died 33 days later. Grief. The ocean holds its grief differently. Dolphin mothers carry dead calves, supporting them at the surface for days or weeks. They fall behind the pod, eat less, and exhaust themselves keeping a small body afloat. In 2018, an orca called J35 Tahlequah gave birth. The calf died within 30 minutes. She carried the body for 17 days and over 1,000 miles. When J35 tired, pod mates helped, swimming beneath the calf to keep it from sinking. A family grieving together. By the end, the body had begun to decompose. When she finally let go, her swim changed, as if something inside had shifted. Researchers called it what it was: grief. Long, physical, relentless grief. Crows hold funerals. When a crow dies, others gather, called by a distinct alarm-like voice. They look at the body, fall strangely quiet, and then disperse. Research shows it's not only caution. Gatherings for a familiar dead crow are longer and more intense. They are reacting to someone, not just something. Grief appears elsewhere. Giraffe mothers keep vigil. Gorillas groom the dead. Sea lions call for pups they cannot wake. Magpies lay grass beside fallen birds. Geese pairs show stress spikes and even weight loss after a mate is gone. And crows remember the human faces seen near the dead for years. Maybe grief doesn't separate us. Maybe it connects us, a shared language of attachment written into many brains. Like and subscribe, and tell me which animal surprised you most.